Hi everyone, I'm Brandon and I'm back. Hopefully YouTube has forgiven me and won't punish me anymore. And to be honest, I just missed you guys. I miss reading all the hilarious comments. And I'm going to start doing brand new TCAP commentaries, so subscribe to this channel so I can get it going again. I also have my Patreon, so subscribe to that if you want to see the commentaries that won't be on this channel. Okay, let's get to it. For my first predator, I've chosen Robb Kline. Of course, Robb here is known as the baby-faced predator because he looks really young, even though I think he was 20 when he got caught here, but he looks very young. Although this footage is so bad, he looks like a character from GoldenEye, the Nintendo 64 game or something. His face is just a bunch of pixels. And oh, Robb doesn't know what he's in for here. He's just showing up thinking he's going to have the time of his life. Unless, of course, we believe his story that he was just coming there to tell the decoy that he was not coming. In that case, he's just going to be in and out. But I have my doubts about the truthfulness of his excuse. And again, he's one of these guys that doesn't knock. It's possible that the decoy told him in the chat just to come on in. I haven't read the chat, or if I have, it's been quite a while. But it just seems like that's very rude to do if you just come to someone's house. Even if they invite you over, you don't just show up and barge into the door. Usually you knock or ring the doorbell and wait for them to let you in. So it just shows maybe his predator nature, the fact that he just doesn't even consider basic manners. He's just going to come on in because he knows that she's home alone.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, you're early. Let me finish getting ready.
Did he kind of like recoil there when she said hello? It's almost like he was hit with the force of the fact that there's a girl here, and he just like kind of stumbles back a little bit.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
Maybe he's just such a scrawny weakling that the force of his own voice, there's like a recoil to it that pushes him back whenever he talks.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, you're early. Let me finish getting ready, honey.
And he's just, like a lot of these guys, they come in. There's the guys like Timothy Isaac who just come waltzing in like they don't have a care in the world. Most of them, they kind of linger in the doorway. And even just the way he's standing here, he's like wide out in the open, exposed, but it's almost like he's leaning his body over to kind of like look around to see if he can spot anything out of the ordinary because he's suspicious that something might be up. And this is probably one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite, like sting location. Like the decor here is like, it looks nice. This looks like a nice house. It looks like a real house. You wouldn't really be suspicious. Whereas the Kentucky sting with the two chairs facing each other, like that does not look real. Does not look like someone would actually live in this house, but this looks like a nice house where real people would live.
At the bar for a second, and I'm gonna go and get ready. Okay. I'll be upstairs in the first bedroom, okay?
It's kind of like he's wants to come in, but his body's telling him to move back, so he's kind of like leaning forward and then falling back a bit, and he's just so scared that he's like tucked away into the corner there. Let's watch that again.
You're early. Let me finish getting ready, honey. At the bar for a second, and I'm gonna go and get ready.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a battle going on in his mind where part of it's like, go in, and part's like, no, stay back. And he's trying to like fight it and step forward, but it's not working.
I'll be upstairs in the first bedroom, okay?
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Took me forever to find this place.
And isn't that, like, everything about this should be a red flag, but isn't it a really big red flag that you have not seen this person? She's talking to you from another room, and she's like, oh, give me a second, and I'll come up. I'll be in the first bedroom on the left or right or whatever the hell she said. Like, that's not how, like, assuming that you were doing some kind of hookup with an adult, like, wouldn't that be weird? Like, usually the person would greet you in the doorway. You'd have some kind of chit-chat there before heading upstairs or whatever, or even if she had to go shower or do whatever. But just the fact that she's like just a voice from somewhere in the house and you couldn't see her, like I think these guys, they want to do it so badly that they're just like, whatever, I heard a female voice that sounded fairly young, so I'm just going to go through with it against my own better judgment.
Stairs in the first bedroom, okay?
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I like how he's just trying to sound like suave and playful when she's like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I don't know. It's like, well, that's not really a good answer. Like, I don't know isn't really a way to get a person turned on, if you ask me, but whatever.
Stairs in the first bedroom, okay?
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. Took me forever to find this place.
He's 20-year-old Robb Kline, screen name R. Kline 05, an Army reservist. He had a sexually graphic chat.
What's that thing in his hand there? I might have mentioned this or discussed this the first time I did this commentary back in the day, so I can't remember if anyone said in the comments what that was. Looks like some kind of cell phone or video game or some sort of device. I don't know.
With someone he thought was 13 and a virgin. He types, so you want this old guy doing you in your house, on your bed, or wherever?
I'm going to say no, she probably doesn't. And why would he phrase it like that? Like, I guess in reality, he's not that old. He's actually quite young when it comes to predators. But he's still way too old for this girl. But is that really, if you're trying to hook up with someone of an adult age, obviously, would that be the best line to tell them, hey, do you want some old guy to come over and do, like, it just doesn't seem like you're presenting yourself in the best light. I think he's trying to confirm that I know that I'm way older than you, and I want to make sure that you're aware that what's going to happen is between you and an older guy. So if she agrees with this and says yes, he's in the clear to do whatever he wants, which obviously is legally not the case, but for an idiot like Robb Kline, he just wants to make sure everything's out on the table.
And, well, if I show up and you're already naked waiting for me on your bed, then it might be hard to be just a friend.
And what is it with these idiots and multiple guys from the Sting, it seems? Because, like, Jeff Stacy does the same thing. He just wants to show up and have them already be naked. Like, do they do this with all women? Like, they go to meet someone for a first date and it's like, hey, do you mind just being naked when I show up? Like, who does that? Or it could just be once they realize that this young person they're talking to is completely like pliable and willing to do everything they say. They're just so agreeable that they're like, they may as well do every single fantasy they have. Like, I don't think any of these guys, especially him and Jeff Stacy, would have the balls or the courage to say that to a grown woman. Because a grown woman would be like, fuck off. Like, I'm just gonna take her clothes off when it comes to it. I'm not gonna like wait at the door naked for you. But I think it's just like, hey, if they're willing to do all this other stuff I say, then may as well just get every fantasy I have right off the bat. It's it's kind of sickening.
How you doing?
All right.
Why don't you have a seat right there? As I start to question him, he seems to get flustered and comes up with,
what the hell kind of way is that? Was he already like sitting down or kind of sitting? And then Chris tells him to sit down. So he like stands up, moves to the right, moves around behind the stool, and then throws his leg over it. That seems like the most awkward way to sit down.
For me on your bed, then it might be hard to be just a friend. How you doing?
All right.
Why don't you have a seat right there? As I start to question him, he seems to get flustered and comes up with this.
Yeah, that is the most complicated way to sit down on a bar stool I've ever seen.
I was actually just going to stop by here to let her know that I wasn't going to be here because I have to go meet with other people.
Genius. Absolute genius, Rob. Just when I thought that he's guilty, there's no possible way that he could talk his way out of this. And then he just drops a bombshell like that. It's like, oh, he just came to tell her that he wasn't going to be coming. Okay. There's no stupidity there, Rob. That makes complete sense. Some of these guys, I think in the back of their mind, they have an excuse because they're coming over. They're like, if this turns out to be a sting or the parents show up or, something happens, I'm just going to say that, I decided on the way over not to do anything, something to that effect. I could tell that this excuse is something that Rob thought of this very second. Because there's no way that even a complete imbecile with more than 30 seconds to think about it would say something that absolutely stupid.
Wait a minute. You came by here.
Even Chris is like, hold on, we got to back up and talk about this.
to get flustered and comes up with this.
I was actually just going to stop by here to let her know that I wasn't going to be here because I have to go meet with other people.
Wait a minute. You came by here to tell her.
I don't know how your circle of friends works, Rob. But if you're going to meet a group of friends or some friend, you don't need to physically stop by other people's houses that you've been talking to or other friends to tell them that you can't go to their house because you have these other friends to go see. If for some reason you feel the need to do that, like you don't want to disappoint the person, you could just send them a text or a phone call or some other method that you can do remotely to be like, hey, I'm not going to be coming by today because I'm going over to this other place, or something to that effect. Obviously, I'm kind of picking on this for nothing because everyone knows it's stupid, but I really just have to like get into the nitty gritty of why this is the most stupid thing ever.
Because I have to go meet with other people.
Wait a minute. You came by here to tell her that you weren't going to come here.
Mm-hmm.
You see why that doesn't make sense?
Yeah, we do.
No, that I wasn't going to be here for a while because I'm on my way.
Oh, I see. Now he changes it from I'm not coming to I'm not coming for a while. So if he was going to tell her that he was going somewhere else first and then he's coming here later, well, now you're just back to the same problem you had before, is what the hell are you doing? Whether you show up now or you go somewhere else first and come back later, you still have to justify your reason for being there.
But as you'll hear when I read from his chat log, he didn't seem flustered while talking online with a 13-year-old decoy.
Yeah, he was a big man in his chat, and then now here he is getting grilled by Chris Hansen and hanging his head in shame.
So would you like to watch a movie with me with your hand down my pants? Or just no pants? We could just be naked all day. How does that look, Rob?
It makes you look like an idiot, Rob. I'll put that out there.
Terrible.
And when he finds out he's going to be on national television, I am Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. He reaches over, shakes my hand, and keeps on talking.
Yeah, there is a handful of guys that shake hands. I mean, it's a way that people greet each other, at least in the Western world. So it's not out of the ordinary. It just seems out of the ordinary in this situation. Like when you're being confronted, whether like by the police or someone, like you don't shake their hand usually when you know you're in trouble. Like it just seems like a weird thing to do. Usually when you shake someone's hand, it's when you're meeting on somewhat friendly terms. When you're in someone's house to commit a horrible crime and then you get caught, it just seems weird to be like, nice to meet you, and shake their hand. Like, I think it's either just that's the way he is, like he was in the military, so maybe he just has that kind of, I don't know how to say it, like, respect to him. Obviously, this is not respectful what he's doing, but that's just the way he conducts himself, which obviously shaking someone's hand is proper etiquette. But it obviously doesn't cover up the nature of what he's here for. Or it might make him look better. If you could make it look like he's just a polite young man and he's shaking your hand, maybe he'll be in a little bit less trouble than he is. Maybe that's what he's trying to go for. But I think it's starting to dawn on him what's going to happen.
Didn't see anything wrong with making a new friend, but then it didn't.
Yeah, but this isn't making a new friend. This is talking about having a 13...
Yeah, this is not making a new friend. And you literally say in your chat that if he comes over and she's naked or whatever, he's going to have a hard time being just friends. He actually said those words, so he can't say that he's just looking for a friend.
Yeah, but this isn't making a new friend. This is talking about having a 13-year-old girl wait naked for you.
But that's not what I wanted to do, and I thought long and hard about it, and other things come up, and that's not.
Well, obviously you didn't think long and hard enough, because even if you thought about it a little bit, you would not have done this, because you would have realized that this is bad on so many levels. Like, one, it's absolutely wrong to do. You should not be doing it to begin with. Second of all, it's illegal. You can get in huge legal trouble. You could also harm the person that you're intending to do this stuff to, like the victim, the theoretical underage girl. Like, you could be going there it could be some sort of, if it wasn't a Chris Hansen sting, it could just be a bunch of guys looking to beat the crap out of you or rob you. Like, there's nothing good that could come of this. Like, it's absolutely wrong. And as soon as you start to realize that and you have that inner debate, you shouldn't be thinking, well, I'll just stop over anyway just to talk to them. It should be like, I'm not going to do this at all. Like, if you're doing some kind of drug deal or something, and you're worried that the guys are going to kill you or rob you, or that it's a sting, it's the police, you just stay the hell away. You don't go and, well, I'm just going to go meet with them anyway and then tell them that I'm not going to do the deal. Like, that's the level of stupidity that he's doing. And James Rutherford was sitting in the same stool and said the exact same thing, that like, oh, he said all that stuff and he originally intended to do that, but then he decided not to do it and then came over anyway. And no one's going to believe that. It's so obvious that like you're lying. If he had have messaged them and been like, you know what, I changed my mind, this is wrong, I'm not going to do it, goodbye, then you might believe that they had a change of heart. But the fact that they still showed up there, like, obviously they didn't.
Other things come up, and that's not what I wanted to do.
So you had this moral awakening.
Yeah.
And you decided that even after all this...
Guys that show up on To Catch a Predator and get confronted by Chris Hansen did not have a moral awakening. If they had a moral awakening, it probably would have happened long before they were sitting in this chair.
Yes. And all the explicit chat, you're not going to have sex with this girl.
Right.
Do you see why that is hard for me to believe?
I can see why it's hard to believe. I can see myself why it's hard to believe.
So why should I...
Those are both the same things, Rob. I can see why it's hard to believe. I can see myself why it's hard to believe. Yeah, that's just the same thing. You're saying it twice, just the second time with more words.
Chat, you're not going to have sex with this girl.
Right.
Do you see why that is hard for me to believe?
I can see why it's hard to believe. I can see myself why it's hard to believe.
So why should I believe you?
Exactly.
No, he's trying to be like, hey, you're arguing my point now. So, like, what? You're not helping yourself, Rob. He's just trying to, like, use some kind of, like, circular logic or trickery to be like, exactly, see, I'm agreeing with you. It's like, yeah, what? Shut up, Rob, you're an idiot.
When he gets up to leave, he has no idea what's waiting for him outside.
Sheriff's office, put your hands up in the air now.
So what will these men have to say once they've been read their rights?
Anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
And
All right, I think we'll leave it there for now. I'll do the interrogation in a separate video. So subscribe to the channel so I can restore it to its former glory. And yeah, feel free to leave a comment and let me know which predator you want me to do next. All right, bye for now. See everyone next time.